Why do your goals feel stuck? This principle helps you to navigate your purchases across the board. Make sure you're prepared before attempting a challenge with high risk. Hello, I'm Max Hoffer at Scarborough and Power, and this might be one of the most important videos that I ever make. Going to the gym isn't just about getting strong or getting bigger. It can help improve you as a person if you take the lessons to heart. Number 1, prioritizing. Why do your goals feel stuck? In the gym, you hit the muscles you want to prioritize first in a workout, going from most important to least important, where you have the most energy first to target those muscles, while still getting some volume in for the latter muscles. Also for strength, going for the lifts you want to prioritize first. So say if you want to focus on bench press, you do bench first in the workout, and then go on to something like deadlifts or squats. This is all a part of exercise programming, but it's also a part of life. You may have a lot of goals in mind. You may have a lot of things on your plate. Instead of trying to focus on all of these, picking the ones that are the most important and prioritizing those at the time is generally the best way around it. You can't give your equal attention to 10 different goals at once. So seeing what's the priority, giving your all to that, and then moving on. Beyond that, if you have 5 tasks to do in a day, putting the most important one first, so then you know that it gets done, is generally the best way to approach doing all tasks. Getting the most difficult, the most important ones done first, and working down, just like you would in a workout. If everything's a priority, then nothing is. Learn to sequence your goals, because some things can wait, while others can't. Number 2, avoiding lies. Just because some food is marketed as junk or healthy, doesn't mean that it's all good or bad. Have a look at what the thing actually does, to see if it benefits you. If it's a high calorie dense food, then it's not going to help you with your diet. But if you're trying to bulk up and you're struggling to get those calories in, then that might be the food for you. Equally, some high calorie foods might have a lot of protein in, so you don't want to just discount it straight off the bat. If having a tasty but not perfectly nutritious snack keeps you on your diet, then that's a perfect thing for you. Instead of falling off just because you ate the bad food, it's okay. Don't let some marketing teams shame you into negativity. Equally, in everyday life, this principle helps you to navigate your purchases across the board. Does this thing benefit you, or doesn't it? Having a look at what the thing does to decide whether that's the right thing for you. Number 3, balancing work with recovery. You can only improve if you allow yourself to recover. Sleep is not only necessary for muscle recovery, but it also helps to improve many other factors in your life, like lowering cortisol, the stress hormone. If you don't allow your mind to recover, you're not going to be able to give your all into more intellectual tasks. As well, if you don't recover physically, you're not going to be able to give your all to more physical tasks, like in the gym. You need to know when to push, but also when to stop. You can't just brute force your way through everything without being able to recover in between, because then you're not going to be able to give your all to anything that you're doing, whether that be at the gym or in everyday life. Stress may help you grow, but burnout destroys you. You need to learn the balance and learn the difference. Number 4, just because someone's successful doesn't mean they're correct. You may look to the biggest guy in the gym for advice, but you don't know if his success is because of genetics, anabolics, or other factors. He may not be able to give as good advice to you as someone who's perceived as less successful or less strong, less big. But that other person's advice might be the best thing that you need to hear. It may be more accurate scientifically, or their point of view might be closer to your own, so their advice may resonate further. This is why it's important to evaluate the advice itself, instead of just blindly following it because of the source of the information. Number 5, vices come at a cost. Cheat meals may be fun to indulge in, but they have a price. And not just the price of fast food nowadays. You're harming your future self by forcing them to do extra work to fix your mistakes. Real self-love isn't about falling into vice. It's about setting yourself up for a better tomorrow, because you believe you deserve a better tomorrow. In order to overcome these problems, you need to prove to yourself that you can. You need to be able to say no to those cheat meals, so that tomorrow you can look back and think, yes, I'm someone who says no to that. If you never make that choice, if you never take that step, you'll always think of yourself and imagine yourself to be someone who falls into cheat meals, because that's what you've proven to yourself. You need to step beyond that preconceived notion of yourself in order to be that bit better than you were yesterday. Number 6, warming up. Make sure you're prepared before attempting a challenge with high risk. It may not be fun to warm up, to use those lighter weights, but in the long run, we all know it's the right thing to do. to help prevent yourself from getting injured, to prepare your body, your muscle, your joints. For most things in life, it's best to be prepared first, instead of wishing that you were more prepared, especially if the stakes are so high, like risking injury. Number 7, balance and moderation. Just like you don't want to cut so fast you lose so much muscle along with the fat, and you don't want to bulk so fast that you gain so much fat along with the muscle. You don't want one goal to sacrifice another in life. Just like prioritizing, if you have two diametrically opposed goals, you're not going to be able to achieve them both at the same time. So which one takes priority? And if you want to work on both of them, not allowing one to get to the point where it's damaging the other so severely. Otherwise it's going to force you to do more work in the long run. Also, with moderation, just because something is difficult doesn't necessarily mean it's the right thing to do. One exercise might be more difficult than another. One exercise might hurt more. But if it's aggravating your joints instead of the muscle, instead of inducing hypertrophy, then it's clearly not the right exercise for you. Same thing in life. If you have two avenues to get to a place where you want to go, one may be more difficult than the other. Doesn't mean that you should go down the one that's more difficult, but it's going to end up damaging you along the way. Evaluate the pros and cons of both. Just because a very restrictive diet is difficult, doesn't mean it's the right thing to do. Sometimes a more balanced, slow approach is going to be the one that's actually going to be able to get you to those goals. If your diet's too difficult to stick to, you're just going to fall off, as opposed to making it a tiny bit easier on yourself to make it more sustainable. Number 8, technique before strength. You need to learn proper form before slapping on the plates. If you don't have a solid basis of technique and form, you're just going to get yourself injured and not be able to get yourself the best results anyway. Think before you act. Build solid fundamentals before assuming that you know everything. Before becoming an accountant, it's probably good to know how to count. Never overlook knowing the basics. They're there for a reason. Number 9, tracking progress matters. In order to be able to grow and get stronger in the gym, you need to progressively overload. In order to do that, you need to track. You need to know where you are today versus yesterday. That way that you know you're heading in the correct direction. This is how we prevent against plateaus. If the numbers aren't working, we adjust. And in life, if you're not evaluating the metrics that actually matter to you, you're not going to be able to progress, whether it be a skill, a hobby, or a profession. Number 10, the journey is usually more valuable than the destination. Your goal may be to bench 100 kg, but it's how you get there that's more important. You can learn from your mistakes as you go, until you're able to apply that knowledge and that patience that you built up to be able to succeed. Patience is the key. You may not see the value in the mistakes that you're currently making, but in the long run you'll be able to look back and see how valuable they actually are. It also means that you're able to look back in pride and realize how far that you've come. Number 11, failure is part of the process. You're going to stagnate in strength. You're going to have bad days. You're going to miss PRs. If you allow it, failure can become a feedback loop, but it doesn't have to be a verdict. Treat setbacks as data, not disasters. This is especially poignant because the metrics in the gym are so obvious. You get to see the number on the plates, whereas in life, it's more difficult to be able to see the source of our problems. And it might take you a while to realize how to fix those problems, but identifying the source is the key. Don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. If you only do an action like going to the gym the perfect way, or when you feel great about doing it, eventually something's going to come up and you're not going to be able to make it for one reason or another. And because that's not perfect, because that's not the ideal process, you'll quit. And while you quit, there's someone else out there who doesn't let the fear of imperfection control them, and they'll continue right ahead while you're left behind. Be that person. Number 12, delayed gratification. You're not going to be able to bench 4 or 5 your first day in the gym. We know that these things take time, and the gym's a great place to learn this. You come face to face with reality, and the fact that progress takes time. It's not about getting the reward straight away. It's about working smart as well as hard, and continuing that work, and eventually, you'll probably be rewarded. But if you give up in the first place, you never will be. And number 13, discipline. Turning up to the gym when you don't want to go, it helps to instill a sense of discipline in yourself, that you must show up to the things that are necessary, that are going to help you, even if you don't want to. Just showing up in and of itself is going to put you far ahead of the vast majority of people who only turn up when they want to. Whether it's a hobby, work, or the gym, just being consistent at it's going to make sure that you're continuing to make progress while others aren't. And eventually, you're going to look around and realize how many people actually just give up. Make sure you're not one of those people. Take these lessons to heart And if you have any more examples, comment them below. We're all here for the same reason. Links below, or go to excaliburempower.com to lift your limits and forge your future.